and welcome to Cardiff in Wales for the first ICF Canoe Slalom World Cup event 2012. Most of the world's top slalom canoers and kayakers are present. Despite the weather, some excellent results had over the 2 days of activities. And with just 6 weeks left to go to the London Summer Olympics, there are still some places up for grabs in the national teams. Excitement guaranteed for the ICF World Cup.
Here we have an artificial course. The length is 250 meters, so we are at the minimum, but we are within the rules. Flow is 11.5 cubic meters, and the artificial course means artificial obstacles which has been spread along the river to create this whitewater feature. We have two legs exactly in a parallel way. It's a very narrow U shape. For course design, it's mostly playing with 2 or 3 drops, and the rest will be design made of stagger, which means a kind of offset move where the athletes will have to go very quickly in a line of poles. I guess the difficulty is that along the race you have to play with different style of course. Whitewater feature where you have to play with, and gates which make the course tricky and difficult to negotiate.
First event of the day is the canoe singles for the women. 8 ladies in the final. It's a new event. It's not yet an Olympic event. In action, 17-year-old Jessica Fox from Australia. She's surely going to be one of the superstars of the future. Already the world champion for the juniors in kayaking and canoeing. The idea is really simple. You negotiate yourself down the course as quick as possible. The lady with the least amount of times wins. The only problem, you have the gates to get through. Green and white downstream, red and white upstream, and Jessica takes a bit of a roll but quickly recovers, but she is struggling a bit today. This course, very, very difficult. It's 260 meters long, fairly narrow, but it's turned out to be very, very technical. She goes through the chicanes, making up some time. It's not going to be too late, but she is having a few stumbles going up the uphill gates. Manages to turn around, back in the flow of the river. As she comes down over the line, is it going to be enough? Jessica, by far the best time in the semi-finals, but won't be happy with this performance today. Too many mistakes. In fact, she picked up 12 penalty points. Now on the course, the compatriot from Australia also, it's Rosalind Lawrence, one of 3 sisters from New South Wales. First half of the course, very, very fluid. No mistakes so far. Look at the concentration as she goes through the chicane. Now she'll go over the catapult, pulls back as quickly as she can in the current, struggling a little bit there. Goes via the wall. Remember, you have to go around the gates without touching them. If you do touch them, it's a 2-second penalty, as she points out there. If you miss them altogether, however, it's 50 seconds. And 50 seconds at this level will put you out of the competition. But looking fluid, coming down to the bottom of the course. Total control. And yes, it's enough to win the race. Total concentration as she kneeling in the boat, which means she can get extra purchase. The head, half the body in the boat has to go around the gate. Rosalind Lawrence takes gold for Australia. Jessica Fox gets the silver.
It was okay. There was some tricky bits on the course. The drop here is quite hard and I struggled a little bit there, but my top half was pretty good, so I guess that's what gave me the edge.
And now on to the men's, the single Canadian, an Olympic event. Really, really close in this discipline. A couple of the big stars haven't even made it to the final. It shows how tough the conditions have been. Michael Martinen and Mate Benes from Slovakia both missed out. Martinen, by the way, did take the Olympic place in this. On the course, Alexander Slavkovsky from Slovakia, ranked number 4 in the world, but because of the Slovaks, such difficult competition, he will not be going to the Olympics. But 29-year-old really negotiated the upturns very, very competitively. Coming around the chicane, making up some good time for the beginning, comes over the catapult, gate number 16, unfortunately touches it, that's going to be 2 seconds on his time. Across the flow, pushes off from the side, which of course is allowed. Pushing home, couple of gates to go. Is it going to be enough? It's not going to be enough to win, but a good time. About balance and concentration, obviously finding the correct line. On the course now, the Russian Alexander Lipatov has had some good finishes recently. He was fastest in the semi-finals. He comes round the red and through the chicane again, coming to the most difficult bit. Over the edge, can he get his line correct? So far, no penalties. One more upstream gate to negotiate. Paddles round well, just a couple of last gates to go and it's home. Is it going to be enough? That would be enough for second position. Delighted with his results there. And now we come to the home favourite, David Florence from the GB. Remember, he won himself a silver medal at the Beijing Olympics. Has been on form in practice. And really, all risk going for it. No holding back. Making it look almost easy as he pivots around the uphills. Really going for all the chances. Either he's going to win or he's going to be well out of it. Comes through the chicane. 6 poles in a row. Over the catapult. So far, right up with the others. Pushing around the last upstream gate. Just a couple more gates to go. Paddles with all his might across the line. And it is enough. David Florence wins the gold medal. Also entered in the C2 event, this wonderful all-round athlete. Confirmation of results. First, Great Britain, David Florence. Second, Russia. Third, Slovakia.
It feels awesome, you know, to win a race anywhere at world level is just incredible, you know, and well, to have done it here at home in the UK, it's not really quite sunk in yet. I didn't know how if I'd won or not when I crossed the line because I couldn't see the time. I knew my friends were cheering, I didn't know where I was, but yeah, by the sounds of it, I won, and that's obviously fantastic.
Switching disciplines, and now we move to the kayak. As you can see, this is where they're sitting in the boat and 2 blades on the paddle. More speed, more control. On the course, 24-year-old German, maybe a star of the future, Paul Bockelmann. Incredibly flexible, incredibly athletic. As he spins around the upstream gates. Doing the samba, coming through the 6 poles in a line. Really coming round the last upstream pole, spins around that as well, pivots back into the mainstream, couple to go, it's just paddle like Billy-O. Dips for the line. Extraordinary balance and coordination. Making the course almost look easy. In action, the French paddler did have the fastest time in the semi-finals. Etienne Dye from France, 22 years old, and looks like he's really going for it. Pivots round, still managing to go through, not touching the poles. Remember, it's a 2-second penalty if you touch the poles. Once, twice, or 3 times, doesn't matter. Over the catapult. Really quickly round across, and that's 2 upstream poles in a row. Very close. It's going to be a close one, this. Negotiates his way upstream. 2 more gates to go. Full power ahead. Finishes in 2nd place and desperately disappointed with that. Keeping the blades in the water as much as possible to control the canoe. On the course now, 23-year-old German Sebastian Schubert. Has a pedigree, 6th in the World Championships. Twists round gate number 6, in total control as he comes round. Not leaving anything out on the course. Again, pivots around, bow in the air. And goes to the most central line possible through the chicane. Ahead at the moment. Round 16, across the flow. Upstream 17. It's looking very fluid. Flying round the last upstream. 2 more gates to go. And that's enough. Delighted with the performance. Total control, keeping the bow high. And that's gold for Germany, Sebastian Schubert. Silver for France, Etienne Dye. 3rd for Germany, Paul Bockelmann.
Yeah, the race plan was to attack a bit more in the final, because I heard the time of Mike Kurt, 93, and Paul from my team as well, 93. So I decided to make a bit more risk, and so it was a really close race, but with the end result I'm happy.
And now we have Andy Goodsell to explain the challenge of the weather on the first day.
The weather conditions here are very unusual for this time of year. We're experiencing exceedingly strong winds, Today, at the moment, the average wind speed is 25 miles per hour, and we've had gusts in the last hour of 49 miles. It has not been a problem in terms of the race preparation. It's not affecting any water levels, they're controlled. It has just made it uncomfortable for all the athletes, support staff and volunteers. The main consequences are we had the whole venue ready for racing yesterday, and then last night we had to sort of collapse a lot of temporary infrastructure and remove the branding to save it from the wind damage. But we do believe that we'll have to sort of get it all back in place on time.
And thankfully, for the last day's competition, the wind has dropped. Let's move into the kayaks for the women. More technique, slightly less power, but the same level of excitement. On the course, the young 22-year-old German has won junior level competitions before, Cindy Poschel. Still clear in the early stages. She pivots round, having to use the sides to push off to give her more leverage from the upstream gate. Round the slalom section, this is 6 poles in a row, 3 gates placed one after another. How's she going to negotiate it? Very, very well, comes across. One more upstream gate to go. Into the main flow of the stream. A few more strokes and she's over the line. That is a very good run. And a clear run as well. Pushes off from the side. Put herself back in a good line. Cindy Poschel, a name to look out for the future from Germany. No doubting about this young lady. Has been a world champion in the past. Really delighted before she goes today because she actually has been guaranteed the Slovakia place in the Olympic Games. Known for her style, long paddling style, almost looks lazy sometimes, but she knows exactly where she's going to put the blade at all occasions. Coming through the slalom, putting in a very, very impressive run, total control. Uses the force of the current to cut across, comes across the line. Fastest so far. That's Jana Dukatova from Slovakia. 11.5 tons of water coming down this course per second. She's not the biggest racer in the world, but she is having some wonderful results at the moment. Mylene Schonau from Spain. Contrasting against Janko with smaller paddle strokes, faster paddle strokes. But on the upper half of the course, gate number 6, she's really in control. The 29-year-old Spaniard putting together a very clean run. Negotiates the greens with no problem. No penalties so far. She just has to hang on and the gold medal is going to be hers. Negotiates away across the flow, round the upstream gate number 17. Still no points, no errors. Looking in control. This is going to be the run of the day. Almost there. Now, full power ahead. And that's enough. That is enough to take the gold medal. And completely delighted with the way she's gone today. A really, really clean run. Confirmation of the victory goes to the 29-year-old Mailen Churran from Spain. Second, Jana Ducato from Slovakia. And third, Cindy Prochel from Germany.
Well, it was a very difficult race for me. I was in London before Cardiff training and I had bad feelings in the water. So yesterday on heats, also I had bad feelings and my navigation wasn't fast, and I passed all the night thinking about how to go, and today I think was better.
And now on to the last race of the day. It's for the men, it's the canoe doubles. The dynamics change completely here. Clearly with two paddlers, more power, but more difficult to negotiate yourself through the gates without scoring any penalties. And in the action, on the course as we see them, it's the young Slovenians, Sabo Taljat and Luka Bošić. They do have a pedigree. They have a bronze medal from the World Championships a couple of years ago. They've been together now for 3 years, and it looks like they're working incredibly well as a pair. Halfway down the course, and as you can see, because they're kneeling in the canoes, they actually are able to bend over further. Pivoting round the upstream gates, and now it's full stream ahead. Oh, there's a couple of problems there on the chicane, but they haven't touched yet. They seem to be getting their boat back in order. And now, gate number 16. All they have to do is slide across the flow. Very, very skillfully, round number 17. And it's just a case of paddling as fast as you can. And with that, completely delighted. They are going to the Olympic Games, and they have taken second place today. They're not the tallest paddlers in the world, but they do know how to put in a good performance. And now on the course is the local favourites, and you can see it's the Brits. In the bow, it's David Florence, and as we already saw, he has a gold medal from the C1s. Partnered in the stern by Richard Hounslow. Bit disappointed with his own performance in the K1s. Didn't get to the final, actually came in 20th. But today, giving it their all. These two in the Olympic Games in the singles, also doubling up in the pairs. And they're looking to putting a good performance before the local crowd. Well ahead of the others. They are really blasting down this course. Come through the chicane. Over the edge. Round up, making it, perhaps they could have been a second quicker, but across the course. Spinning round gate number 17. It's going to be close at the end. But they're really using the flow of the stream in their favour. Few more strokes to go. And that is enough. What a weekend's work. Two gold medals now for David Florence. 6 weeks left to go to the Olympics. It does give us a really good indication of where these paddlers are. Confirmation of the result. Gold to Great Britain. Slovenia takes silver with Slovakia in third.
Yeah, it was a good run, you know. There were little bits and pieces here and there, but we put down a pretty solid performance, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens, really.
That's it from Cardiff for the ICF World Slalom Cup. Join us next week in the south of France in Pau.